These stories are based on real-life incidents. Names, locations, and certain details have been changed to protect privacy. The purpose of this content is for awareness and informational storytelling only. We do not intend to target or defame any individual, group, or organization.
The orphanage where I spent most of my life felt less like a safe haven and more like an endless waiting room for a life that just wouldn't kick off. Hi everyone, I'm Anna, and today I'm sharing my story with you. The raw, unfiltered truth about what I've been through. It's called The Way Life Goes. And yeah, I gotta apologize up front if my English isn't perfect. I'm just 15, and I've been piecing this together from the heart. If you're here for an inspiring tale of overcoming the odds, buckle up because this one's heavy. But stick with me. Maybe it'll help someone out there feel a little less alone. You know, stories like mine don't get told often enough, especially from kids like me who are still in the thick of it. We're the ones society forgets about, the quiet ones in the system, just trying to survive. But today, I'm breaking that silence. Let's dive in, step by step, because this isn't just a quick recap, it's the full picture, with all the messy details that shaped who I am. I'll take you through the highs, few as they were, and the crushing lows, the moments that built me up, and the ones that nearly broke me. This is my truth, laid bare, in the hope that speaking it out loud might ease the weight on my chest just a bit. Let me start by painting the scene for you in vivid detail, so you can really feel what it was like. Imagine a sprawling, outdated building on the ragged edges of a small town. The kind of place where the grass is always overgrown and the fence around the property sags like it's given up. The exterior walls were once white, but had faded to a dingy gray, chipped and peeling from years of harsh weather and neglect. Inside, it was even worse. Long corridors with fluorescent lights that buzzed incessantly, casting a harsh, unnatural glow that made everyone look sickly. The air always carried a mix of scents, disinfectant trying to mask the underlying mustiness, mixed with whatever was cooking in the kitchen, usually something bland and institutional like boiled potatoes or mystery meat stew. Our rooms were dorm style, with metal bunk beds lined up in rows, each one assigned a thin mattress that felt like sleeping on a board. Privacy? Forget it! You shared everything. Space, secrets, even the echoes of other kids' nightmares bouncing off the walls at night. That's the orphanage I ended up in when I was just 6 years old. It wasn't like the heartwarming stories you see in movies, where kind caretakers nurture lost souls back to happiness. No, this was cold efficiency at its finest, or worst, depending on how you look at it. The staff were a rotating cast of underpaid workers, some with good intentions that faded fast under the workload, others who treated the job like a paycheck and nothing more. They'd go through the motions, wake us up with a sharp rap on the door, herd us to the cafeteria for meals served on scratched plastic trays, supervise chores like scrubbing floors or folding laundry, and enforce bedtime with lights out promptly at 9. But emotional stuff? That was off limits. If you cried, you got a tissue and a pat on the back. Maybe of there if they were feeling generous. No deep talks, no therapy sessions, no real understanding of the scars we all carried. It was survival of the fittest, emotionally speaking.
My own arrival there is etched in my memory like a bad dream I can't shake. I was 6, small for my age, with pigtails and a dress that was already too short from hand-me-downs. My mom dropped me off on a rainy afternoon, her eyes red from crying or maybe something else. I was too young to tell. She hugged me tight, whispering that it was just for a little while, that she needed to sort things out with work and money and whatever else adults struggled with. "Be good, Anna," she said, handing me a small backpack stuffed with a change of clothes, a toothbrush, and my favorite stuffed bear, Mr. Fluff. I clung to that bear like it was a lifeline as she drove away, the taillights disappearing into the downpour.
Inside, a stern woman with a clipboard checked me in, assigning me a bunk and a locker. "You'll be fine," she said flatly. But I wasn't. That first night, I cried myself to sleep, muffling the sobs in Mr. Fluff so the other kids wouldn't hear. My parents weren't dead, they were just incapable. Dad had vanished years earlier, lost to addiction or whatever pulled him away. Mom tried, but between jobs and her own issues, she couldn't keep up. We'd talk on the phone sporadically, maybe once a month if I was lucky. She'd promise visits, paint pictures of us reuniting, but they were just words. "Soon, baby girl," she'd say, her voice cracking over the line. "Mommy's almost got it together." But soon stretched into months, then years, and the promises faded like old photographs. Life in the orphanage taught me to be invisible. I wasn't the outgoing kid who made friends easily. No, I was the one in the corner, head buried in a borrowed book from the tiny library shelf, mostly tattered paperbacks donated by charities. Or I'd stare out the grimy windows, watching birds fly free and wondering if I'd ever feel that way. The other children formed their little groups, the loud ones who dominated the playground with games of tag or kickball, the troublemakers who snuck extra food or picked fights, and then us, the quiet ones, blending into the background to avoid notice. It was a defense mechanism, really. Attachments hurt when kids got adopted, rare as that was, or aged out, leaving without a backward glance. So I kept to myself, navigating the daily grind with a stoic reserve. Wake up to the buzzer at 6 a.m., shuffle to the bathroom for a quick wash in cold water, line up for breakfast, oatmeal that stuck to the roof of your mouth, or toast so dry it crumbled like dust. Then school in the cramped on-site classroom where overworked teachers recited lessons from outdated textbooks, their voices monotone and uninspiring. Math problems on chalkboards that squeaked, history dates that blurred together, reading assignments from books with missing pages. After that, chores, sweeping halls, washing dishes in the kitchen sink until your hands pruned, or weeding the overgrown garden that never quite bloomed. Dinner was more of the same. Nutritious but flavorless meals designed for budgets, not taste. Evenings meant free time, which felt like a joke. Watching fuzzy TV shows on an ancient set in the common room, playing with puzzles missing pieces, or just sitting in silence, lost in thought. Weekends dragged on eternally. No outings or field trips, just more of the routine, amplified by boredom. Holidays were the pits, forced cheer with cheap decorations and a special meal that still tasted institutional. Beneath it all simmered this deep, aching emptiness. Why me? What cosmic mistake landed me here? I learned to bury those questions deep, building emotional walls brick by brick. It was the only way to survive without shattering. But everything changed, truly, profoundly, when Alex entered my world. It was a gloomy afternoon, much like my arrival, with rain pattering against the windows like impatient fingers. I was 6, still adjusting, when the front door creaked open and in walked 2 boys, escorted by a social worker with a sympathetic but harried expression. The older one was Alex, 9 years old, tall and lanky with messy brown hair that fell into his eyes and a backpack slung over one shoulder. Trailing behind him was his little brother, Ben, only 5, clutching Alex's hand like it was the only solid thing in a tilting world. They looked exhausted, clothes wrinkled from whatever journey brought them here, faces pale with the kind of shock that comes from upheaval. The social worker explained briefly to the staff: abusive home, parents unfit, emergency removal after a neighbor's call to child services. Alex didn't speak much that first day, just nodded solemnly as they were shown to their bunks in the boys' dorm, adjacent to ours but separated by a thin wall. Ben, though, whimpered softly, and Alex knelt down to his level, whispering reassurances I couldn't hear but could feel in the air.
My first real encounter with them happened a couple of days later in the playroom, a sparse space with faded rugs, a few shelves of toys, and a couple of rickety tables. I was alone, as usual, scribbling aimlessly on a piece of scrap paper with a dull pencil, drawing stick figures of families I wished were mine. Alex wandered in, Ben tagging along, and instead of joining the other kids roughhousing in the corner, he made a beeline for my table. "Hey," he said in a voice that was soft but steady, like he was testing the waters. "I'm Alex. This is my brother, Ben." Ben hid behind him, peeking out with curious eyes that mirrored Alex's, deep brown, full of unspoken stories. I looked up, surprised anyone had noticed me, and mumbled, "I'm Anna." That simple exchange sparked something. We didn't dive into deep conversations right away. It started small. Alex asked what I was drawing, and I showed him my crude sketch. "That's a nice house," he said, smiling faintly. "Ours used to look like that before..." His voice trailed off, but I understood. From that moment, an invisible thread connected us. Over the following weeks, our bond grew organically, like a plant finding sunlight in a dark room. Alex would save me a spot at meals, sharing his portion if mine was skimpy. I'd help entertain Ben during outdoor time, pushing him on the rusty swings while Alex watched with a protective gaze. We'd talk about innocuous things at first. Favorite colors, mine blue for the sky's freedom, his green for grass, he remembered from better days. Dream jobs, me as an artist capturing beauty on paper, him as a mechanic fixing what's broken, a metaphor if there ever was one, or made-up stories to pass the time. But as days turned months, trust deepened and the walls came down. Alex shared glimpses of his life before. The rare good times, like backyard barbecues with laughter echoing, contrasted sharply with the darkness that dominated. Ben would chime in sometimes, his innocent voice recounting fragments he remembered, but Alex shielded him from the worst. One particularly memorable evening stands out, as the sun set in a blaze of orange and pink, casting long shadows across the yard. We were sitting on the grass, Ben dozing nearby after a day of play, when Alex decided to open the floodgates. He stared at the horizon, kicking at tufts of weeds, and began, "You know why we're here, right?" I nodded, having heard whispers from the staff. "It wasn't just neglect," he continued, his voice low and steady but laced with pain. "Dad, he had a temper. Got worse when he drank. Mom tried to stop him, but she was scared too." He described the cycle, arguments escalating to shouts, then slaps, then worse. Bruises hidden under long sleeves, excuses made to teachers. "The worst was when I was 5, he said, his words halting as if each one cost him.
I spilled juice on the carpet, stupid kid stuff. He lost it, grabbed his belt, and just kept going. I was covered in welts, bleeding from cuts where the buckle hit. Mom cried, but they didn't call for help right away. Waited hours, maybe hoping it'd look less bad. I started feeling dizzy, passing out, and only then did they rush me to the ER. The doctor's stern faces, the questions from social workers, it all blurred in his retelling. They said I was lucky. Lucky. I didn't know what to say, so I did what felt right. I reached out and hugged him, my tiny arms wrapping around his frame as he shook silently. "It's not fair," I whispered. "None of it." That moment sealed our connection. In sharing his deepest wound, Alex trusted me, and I vowed silently to be his safe harbor. Alex's laughter became a soundtrack to our days, but it was always tinged with that underlying sorrow. He'd goof around to cheer Ben up, imitating the cook's gruff voice while sneaking an extra cookie, or spinning tall tales about adventures we'd have one day, like exploring hidden caves or building tree houses in imaginary forests. His chuckles would ring out, deep and genuine. But if you listened closely, there was a crack, a hint of the pain he masked so well. You could almost feel the hurt in his laugh, I'd reflect later, like echoes of that 5-year-old boy pleading for mercy. It was his way of coping, a shield against the memories that haunted him. We became a makeshift family in that forsaken place. Mornings started with us huddled at breakfast, trading bites of whatever slop was served, maybe watery eggs or cereal gone soggy. I'd sneak fruit if there was any, saving the best pieces for Ben. Afternoons were for schoolwork. Alex, being older, tutored me in subjects I struggled with, like fractions or spelling. His patience endless. "You're smart, Anna," he'd encourage. "Smarter than this place." Evenings brought whispers in the dim light after curfew, our voices low to avoid the night watch. We'd dream big, escaping the orphanage, finding jobs, creating a home where no one hurt. "I'll protect you both," Alex promised. "We'll be unbreakable." In a world of adult failures, he was my beacon, my hero in scuffed sneakers. The years passed in a haze of sameness, punctuated by small acts of rebellion that kept our spirits alive. Birthdays were sacred. We'd smuggle treats from the kitchen, steal cookies or fruit cups, and celebrate in secret. For my 8th, Alex fashioned a crown from twisted paper, declaring me Queen Anna of the Yard. His 10th involved a makeshift cake from crushed graham crackers. Ben's celebrations were the sweetest, his eyes lighting up at the attention. We created traditions, story nights where we'd invent epics of orphans turned heroes, or art sessions with crayons begged from teachers. As we aged, dynamics shifted subtly. I hit 10, then 11, navigating the awkwardness of growing up. Braces on my teeth from a rare dental visit, the first pangs of self-consciousness. Alex turned 13, 14, his voice deepening, shoulders broadening as he took on more big brother duties, like mediating squabbles among younger kids or fixing broken toys with makeshift tools. Ben blossomed too, from shy toddler to energetic 8-year-old, mimicking Alex's mannerisms but inheriting my quiet introspection. The orphanage evolved minimally. A new coat of paint here, a stricter director there, but the core remained. Indifferent adults, overlooked kids. We'd overhear tales from peers, hopeful adoptions dashed by bureaucracy, runaways returned by police, fostering attempts that fizzled. It reinforced our pact, us against the world. But by the time I reached 14 and Alex hit 18, the cracks widened into chasms. 18 meant adulthood in the eyes of the system, freedom on paper but chains in reality. Alex could leave, but with no savings, no high school diploma, the on-site education was subpar, and no support network. Where? He hustled for jobs, mowing neighbors' lawns for pocket change, bagging groceries at a local store on weekends. But the grind wore him down. Depression slithered in stealthily, like fog over a lake. At first it was subtle, skipped meals, longer silences during our talks. "What's wrong?" I'd ask. "Just tired, Anna." He'd reply, eyes distant. Tired of it all. The nightmares, always lurking, intensified. Nightly eruptions of screams that pierced the quiet dorm. "No, stop, help!" He'd cry, thrashing in his bunk. Ben would wake, terrified, burrowing under covers, while I'd dash across the room, rules be damned, holding Alex tight. "Shh, it's over." I'd soothe, stroking his sweat-damp hair until tremors subsided. "You're here, with us." But the past replayed relentlessly, dragging him back to that bloodied 5-year-old. Desperate, I threw everything at it. We'd revisit joyful memories. The prank war with whoopee cushions from a volunteer's donation, leaving staff bewildered and us giggling hysterically. Or stargazing in the yard, naming constellations after our dreams. I'd sketch portraits of him as a superhero, cape billowing, Ben as his sidekick. Ben contributed with games, tag variants, or hide and seek in the halls. But the darkness deepened. Alex isolated, sleeping through days, appetite gone. He's trapped in the loop, I'd worry, seeing the haunted look. Approaching staff? Futile. Boys his age get moody, they dismiss. He'll snap out of it. No mental health resources, no interventions, just platitudes. We were islands in a sea of indifference. His descent mirrored my growing helplessness. Our shared room, once a haven with posters torn from magazines, rock bands, scenic landscapes, and bunks personalized with drawings, turned oppressive. I'd pace at night, listening to his ragged breaths, mine racing for solutions. I can't turn to anyone. The realization crushed me. The system, designed to protect, had failed spectacularly. Then, the unthinkable unfolded on an unremarkable evening, 23 days before I committed this to paper. The cafeteria dished out limp pasta, sauce watery as tears. "I'll grab our trays," I offered, as usual, squeezing Alex's cold hand. "Back soon." He managed a nod, eyes hollow. Returning, trays teetering, horror awaited. Alex sprawled on the floor, foam bubbling at his lips, an empty bottle of doxepine, 7 potent sleeping pills clutched loosely. Time froze. "Nurse! Emergency!" My scream echoed as trays crashed. She bolted in, dialing 911 amid chaos. Sirens pierced the night, paramedics swarmed, but revival efforts failed. Alex was gone. His torment ended in tragedy. Grief engulfed us like a tsunami. Days melted into tear-soaked nights. Ben's small frame shaking in my arms as we wept. Alex had been our universe, guide, confidant, shield. At 14, I inherited his role for Ben, an overwhelming burden. "How do I do this without you?" I'd whisper to empty air. The room tormented, his bunk untouched, shadows dancing like ghosts. Everywhere I look, I see him, the pain constant. Music offered fleeting solace, ballads of loss, lyrics resonating. "This house looks not the same without you," encapsulating the void. Penning this was cathartic. Tagged #GirlsInspire,
Young Women Say, friendship, grief, suicide, abuse survival, trauma. Ben and I ache for you, Alex. May heaven grant the serenity denied here. Rest in peace. My existence now, a solitary island amid raging seas. Alex, the collapsed bridge to connection. I paddle forward, Ben on my shoulders, waves of sorrow crashing. Yet, I endure. If this resonates, if you're lost in darkness, seek help. Talk. You're never truly alone. Thanks for sticking with me through this tough story, folks. It's not easy to share, and it's even harder to live through. But if it helps even one person out there pause and reach for help instead of giving up, then it's worth it. Remember, before you ever think about doing something like that, ending it all, stop and think about the people who love you, the ones who care deeply about you, your family, your friends, even that one person who might seem distant but would be shattered without you. You're not alone in this world, and there are folks out there ready to listen and help. Hotlines, therapists, communities. Reach out. Life can get better. I've seen glimmers of it, even in my darkest days. If this resonated with you, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the community here. We talk real stories, real struggles, and real hope. Drop a like if you're with me, and share your thoughts in the comments. What's one thing keeping you going today? Take care of yourselves out there. Peace out.